Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's the answer. This is the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we're getting back into Death Note. This is, of course, Season 1, Episode 7. This one's called Overcast, and I am just worried about Naomi, but I think she's a lot smarter than what Light is thinking.
Like I said, Naomi. But hey, I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to see how L gets to finding the light.
Yeah, look, Light's gone off the, he's gone off the deep end. Whatever sort of moral fiber he had is completely unraveled, and the dude's just lost it. So I can't wait to see how long it takes our guy L to pin him down.
Right.
Light. Then let's go! Hey, Steve, can I get a water?
Coming right up. Got a fresh pack right down here. Oh, my back. Oh.
Uh-oh. Looks like Steve's back just called it quits.
Some help would be good right about now.
Yeah, you're gonna need some help with that, Steve. Your injury could be worth millions. You should consider calling Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm,
with more than 1,000 lawyers and 4,000 case staff ready to fight for you if you become their client.
But Steve's worried. He doesn't have the cash to pay for expensive legal fees. Worry no more. Morgan & Morgan will fight for every penny you deserve. And guess what? The fee is absolutely free, unless you win. But Steve doesn't want to sue his boss, even though he hasn't gotten his surgery bills covered in the last 6 months. Steve, when you sue for an injury, you're not suing your boss. You're suing the insurance company.
So if you've been a victim in a workplace injury or any other personal injury, you can hit the link in the description to get Morgan & Morgan to fight for you.
Steve did, and now he's back in the game.
The fact remains, this woman knows the truth. I have no choice but to eliminate her.
Something wrong?
We can't waste any time. We need to start investigating it right away.
Do you mean that?
Yes. So have you told anyone else?
Nah.
You're the first person I've told.
Let's get started.
It was December 20th.
Oh.
This way, no one will find her body. What's so funny, Ryuk?
He knows that that's not her name?
That's not our name, yeah.
Yep, because remember, he can see everybody's name and how long they have left.
Yeah, he can look right above him.
Yep.
Watari's on his way.
I'd like to report this incident to my father, if it's okay with you, that is.
If it's all the same, I think I'd like to report it myself.
Better fix your note,
You
bruv.
can't.
Wait, what?
Nothing happened. 'Cause you
Nothing's
got the
happened.
name wrong.
Wait, what? Oh, something happened? Something go wrong?
This doesn't make sense. I should be able to control a person's actions.
Oh, Ryuk isn't gonna tell him.
No.
Well, you can't.
He laughed just like that when I was writing in the Death Note. An alias.
How are you going to do that one?
It's an honor to meet all of you. Ordinarily, I would never show my face to any of you.
There we go.
I do feel honored.
Gentlemen, these are your new police IDs.
But what for?
Different names.
If you ever show your names.
She's been overly cautious from the beginning. She believes that Ray died because he showed his ID to Kira.
Yeah, it's not good.
If I'm too persistent, she'll get suspicious.
Someone from the task force might be back there by now.
Is he going to go old school on her?
Maybe if he knows the husband's real name, he can look up her name and marriage records, if they're public there. The white pages. Facebook.
Well, this is 2006.
MySpace.
There you go.
You know what needs to be done? Just find out her real name. I suppose if I had to, I could use force.
But
I've got to get her somewhere isolated. I can do this.
What would be your approach, guys?
I don't know. I'm not a maniac like he is.
That deal I mentioned is still
Oh.
open. Would I be willing to give up half my life? It's not even worth considering.
I'd like to go there by myself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Why did you give us fake IDs? Of all people, the police shouldn't use fake IDs.
Bruh.
As long as you're working on this case, I think we're going to need all the protection one can get.
Clay.
Bill.
Clay.
I'd like to request that you wear these at all time. This will allow Ryozaki to monitor your whereabouts. And when you press the buckle twice like this, my cell phone will ring, displaying your name.
Totally cool. I feel like some kind of secret agent going after Kira.
Quiet, Matsuda.
Whap! Like, why? It's excited.
After talking to you, I feel much more confident about my theory.
She's leaving. So now what? I need her real name.
Hey, you got any gum in your purse that I could rummage through to get?
Excuse me.
Yes?
There's something that I should probably tell you.
Okay.
When she's comfortable, then I can get her real name. I can do this. Didn't you find it odd that there was no one at Task Force headquarters? Yeah. Task Force has been organized so that its members can't be identified and nobody on the outside knows who's in charge.
He's not wrong. Mm-hmm. If she goes in and asks for names, how do you know it's not her?
You'll never be able to talk to someone directly from the task force because the police simply won't allow it.
That's pretty clever.
How do you know so much?
Guess I spoke too soon. She's sharp.
She's reading them like a book.
It's because I'm actually a member of the task force.
Oh, secret agent.
Elle is currently in charge of the task force and he's leading our investigation.
Yes.
He was concerned that the task force had become too small. Many detectives had quit fearing for their lives, and so
Which he knew from his dad.
Yep.
he brought me on board to help out with the investigation.
Elle trusts you then.
And I'm allowed to investigate freely as I see fit. An elite group of people handpicked for the job by Elle. Well-respected and above all, trustworthy.
Trustworthy.
Means I'm trustworthy.
This greasy fucking kid.
Just to be safe, I'd like to try and visit the task force headquarters again.
See ya.
You're gonna get caught, sucker.
Oh, your desperation is starting to stink.
Yep.
I was hoping I could speak with Elle directly.
Who's at the police station right now? Actually, no one's there at the moment. Aizawa, I'll put you in charge of that for today.
Yes, sir. Please, wait a second.
Why are you getting so worked up about it, bruv?
Yeah, she just wants to go to the station.
He might remember who I am.
Oh.
You see, I worked under him in a case in the U.S. Up until 3 months ago. I worked as an FBI agent.
This is it.
I was going to say, now she said that.
I noticed early on that your investigative skills were far beyond those of an amateur.
Damn it.
One lie after another, you'll make it look easy.
From my perspective, both the police and the members of the task force were suspects, but I'm certain that I can trust Elle. There's a chance that they'll let me speak with him directly.
Maybe
That's
if
not
you
good.
give me your name.
And you came along claiming to be the son of the lead detective, and
Claiming to be.
I'll be honest with you, you remind me of Elle.
Oh.
There's something about you that's just like him.
Only the complete opposite. They have the same thorough skills.
I want you to come work with us as part of the task force. We could use your help.
This mother...
Please.
Was licensed do the trick then?
Sure.
She's got a fake Japanese ID. And he used the umbrella so he didn't see him.
Yep.
Shit.
Lucky with the rain or the snow.
Why do you keep checking your watch?
Because I'm Kira.
Oh.
Is it already past the time? Because otherwise she had a quick yelled out Kira, pointed at him.
Yeah, now she just has to follow the orders in the death note.
There's something I have to do.
My father's cell phone might be available now.
Look at him how cocky he is.
I have nothing to say to him.
Then goodbye, Naomi Misora.
I totally thought she was gonna figure something out or have a bigger role.
Son of a bitch.
There's got to be. I wonder if there's anything with the old Fred Savage walking by with the umbrella.
No, it was just...
I know it's only 2006, but you'd think there's still cameras and stuff.
Oh, gosh. Folks, I came in with such high expectations in this episode that Naomi was going to become a pivotal character, that she was going to start to figure things out. I mean, the whole time we're I was getting a little cocky, being like, you like that, Elle? You're going to get caught. She's going to figure it out. You're out of time. I thought at the very least he was going to have to give up half his life to get the vision, to be able to see everybody's name and how much time they have left to live. So I thought at the bare minimum he was going to have to do that. But this kid, he just keeps finding a way to make it work. And gosh, what a bummer. You know, the one thing that was super cool about this episode is that, I mean, aside from the little bit of time we had in the hotel with Elle handing out the badges to the police that were going to stay on the case, the whole episode was basically Light and Naomi having their walk, and then all the internal monologue or dialogue that Light was having with himself is how he was going to figure it out. And I was hoping he was going to panic more. I was hoping maybe he would have to make the deal. I was hoping something Naomi was going to, I don't know. I know it wasn't going to end here because it's only episode 7, but I really don't like seeing Light able to avoid getting caught or being able to figure stuff out.
Well, you better get used to it, because that's what's going to keep happening.
I know. It's just so, I just can't handle it anymore. I just want to see this kid get caught. But gosh, Naomi was a great character for the little bit of time that we had her. And she was on it, man. She was going to figure it out real fast.
Cross her name out now.
So, yeah. So for me, that was Death Note episode 7. What more can I say?
Yeah, it's just, this is what he's going to have to keep doing. And he alluded to it the last episode. He has to be absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. So when he wrote down the name and he noticed Ryuk was laughing, and the same thing happened when it didn't, follow through.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the offer
still
stands. I mean, half your life, but you get to know their names and everything, because I can only imagine that he's going to eventually have to do that, because
he's going to have to take the
because I'm assuming that one of the police officers that he doesn't know that's working with his dad that's on the task force is going to talk to him or something,
corner him,
and he's going to see his badge and think it's that name, and it's not going to work. And so he's going to be like, they're using fake aliases. He's going to end up having to take the deal, because otherwise, how is he going to take anyone out? And we saw it started off, criminals working its way down. Now an innocent person that could be in his way again. And, Naomi showed how great her skills were. And it's like, I was hoping, like you too, she would stick to her guns, because I wanted to see if she did get to the police station and maybe she gave the information, how it would go about things after that.
Yeah, that maybe be.
So I was intrigued on if it did go that direction, but instead they went this direction. And even with having, the task force come back, and he had to because it was snowing. I'm sorry, we live in Wisconsin. When have you ever used an umbrella for snow?
Never.
I'm 45 years old. 0 times in my entire life have I used an umbrella for snow. And I don't know that it's not a thing. People in Wisconsin don't use umbrellas for snow, period.
Like rain? Absolutely. But unless they're doing it for effect, but it was also
especially not a light, fluffy.
Yes. And it said it was the 1st of January, 2007. So, I mean, you would have snow. So that was the only thing I was hoping that maybe she would make it back and whatever, because also too, I didn't want to lose her as a character, because she was sharp and on point and just perfect to help out Elle. And we found out that she helped Elle before.
Yeah.
And then the big bombshell, you remind me of Elle, and it's like, yeah, they're both very thorough. They don't try to get information wrong, and they don't jump to conclusions big time. They work it out and get it carefully planned, as we saw with Elle in the hotel room. Talking with each of you, I got you new badges, and crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. So
and those fancy
you can see,
belt buckles too.
Yeah, and those are pretty cool. Those are badass. But yeah, we saw that. Yeah, they're very the same, very much the same, except for one is kind of the good, and the other right now is
evil.
Well, he's this much evil, but he's going to keep going that way, in my opinion.
Oh, he's already up there.
Oh, yeah. But once again, another great episode of Death Note.
how are you going to introduce a character as like dynamic and interesting as Naomi and then get rid of her that fast?
Got rid of Ray in 2 episodes too.
Yeah.
They're gonna. I think a lot of them are coming and going.
Yeah.
I really thought this was going to play out like a side cat and mouse game between Naomi and Light, or that maybe she was going to find a way to be part of the task force. I didn't see her exiting after this episode, and it's sad in the manner that like I don't know, like the more I've watched the show, it's like I feel like greasy after watching it. Like it's like one of those ones where you're like, oh God, I need a shower
He
after
just had to
watching
tell
this
her he
show.
was Kira.
Yeah, like that's
had
how,
to tell her.
That's how narcissistic it is. Like he totally like that gave him that gave him the thrill, being like, I'm him. Like even to somebody he knows he put on a path to end their own life, he still had to get that in. And it's like, what a deranged, demented person Light has become. And look, that's the moral of the story. Like, hey, Dumbledore said it. People who have too much power, or the people who seek power, are usually the ones who don't deserve it. Yeah, this answer's just pulling the snow back up. This is
because I wanted to get.
This is not a snow that anybody would ever
Kira.
have an umbrella out for. Oh, the maniacal look on his face.
Right there. I have
Just
it
a
up.
smug, maniacal, punchable look on his face.
They've been changing
Even for
his,
animated, he's got the smug, punchable face.
Well, they've been changing his hair and his eyes to red when he goes into that mode.
Yeah, they gave him like a light reflection. It's just you know what, this kid sucks. But just
You have said it.
we did say it. But a great writing though, right? Like that's, I mean, that's when you can watch a program and it like literally like deflates you and makes you feel greasy. Like that's when you know you had good writing. I remember the first time we watched the first Hunger Games, I left the studio and I just felt like, ick, what did I just watch? And I think I know I didn't give it a great score. And I just lived with me, when we came back for the second one. I'm like, I think I got it figured out. And I'm already, now that we're, a few years into this reaction journey, I'm able to recognize those emotions a little bit more. And
work with them.
That's what I'm getting here from Death Note. It's just somebody who, found their way into a very interesting situation, is using it for all the wrong reasons, although they think they're doing God's work. It's like, bro, just put the book down. Stop. Now he's carrying, I'm going to better carry these pages around with me.
Just in case.
Just in case. I might have to take somebody out. Might have to take out a random person. Never know where I'm going to go. Oh, this person might suspect me. Completely innocent.
Might get in my way.
Wife, kids, who knows? But, they're in my way from doing my divine work. So I guess you're going to have to go. You know what? Fuck this guy.
Like, well, he threatened Ray with his whole family, and when he was talking to him, I mean, through the earpiece, and then but then also with him too, he showed his face to him too, right as he was.
Yep, he just had to do it
because he's a coward.
And he was even like, "Hey, do you want to use the phone? Do you want to call my dad?"
Just doing that at the end just really makes me want to deck him. I mean, but why? I would have to make sure I told him my name was Jeffrey Smith or something, so that way he couldn't off me in the end too.
Bill Clay.
You'll have to light me up on that one, but yeah,
Die Hard.
Or Hans.
Oh, Bill Clay.
He meets Hans by the elevator.
Yeah. You ever used one of these before, Hans?
And yet, because the name up there says William Clay. Yeah, that's right.
But what an episode! It must be for you folks who have seen this, and if you've hung around this long, thank you for that. But for you folks who have seen this before, I don't want to know this answer. I just want to put it out there. It must have been so satisfying at the end when Light gets caught.
How do you know he gets caught?
If he gets caught.
Well, I mean, he's going to become a Shibuki in the end.
I'm assuming he has a
Shibuki,
terrible
or
ending because I'm just hoping.
There's
that's
there's a show on Netflix. Have you guys seen the show You?
No.
She ain't got me. That's what I meant.
So for those of you who have seen the show You, I haven't watched the latest season. I watched the first few, and you'll understand like kind of the correlation, the vibes you get as far as the smugness and the getting away with stuff. You know, it's like yeah, that's about as much spoilers as I'm going to
Well,
get.
Walter White kind of got like that too a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
Walter
yeah.
was at some point.
Walter was likable for the most part.
Well, yeah, that was
in
the
his
thing.
own regard. You know,
Well, because you would start to hate him, and then he threw a pizza on the roof. So, look, this show has been awesome, and we absolutely love it. We cannot wait for more because this cat and mouse game is only going to get better and better. I'm feeling. So, for Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, the answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals. Al, at some point, is going to have to come face to face with the light, I swear.
Can't be
oh yeah,
to
of
God.
course. There's going to be a square off.
It's going to be a glare off.
It's like a stare off,
gonna
but with
use-
a glare.
But with glares.
It's more intent, like a glare
Yeah,
off. Because like a stare off, you could just be looking at each other.
You have to stare.
It's
Yeah.
just looking at each other. But
Glare
a
is
glare
just-
off is with emotion.
It's like how your dog gives you the side eye.
Well, glare is a pretty dynamic term. Let's not forget. Glare can be a good glare, an evil glare,
A glaring light.
a glare, just a little, glare.
Sweet glare.
A glare.
Penber passing the ticket gate on his way in, finally the part where he dies on the platform. Okay.
He's eating ice cream.
2 scoops?
Perched up on the couch.
Comes through the west entrance of Shinjuku Station. But even if he was following someone at that time,
Just cut the full pan.
then at exactly 4:42 p.m.,
Get your sugar up.
he exits
Ooh,
the train
3.
at Tokyo Station and dies on the platform.
And what do you find strange?
Triple scoop. It's risky.
And more importantly, there's the envelope when he passes through the ticket.
Where the hell is he?
It's there under his
Oh,
arm.
there he is.
But in the footage right before his death, it's gone.
It was left on the train. And if you watch closely at the very end here,
I love the music in the background.
wouldn't it be interesting if Kira was on that train?
That's impossible.
Maybe he was counting on us to make that assumption and figured he could get away with such a bold move.
Nice sound design.
They're all. Hey, what was on his computer screen?
I
Well, Atari's that looked like.
Oops. 4 days straight.
Are you sure that I can use any date as long as it's before the end of a person's predetermined lifespan?
I can't guarantee it because we Shinigami don't normally work that way.
I really can't count on you, can I?
You got that right.
You got that right. Look at all that.
Mr. Matsuda, it's okay for you to turn on your cell phone now. Oh.
Jesus.
Naomi Misora. I heard that name before.
You worked with her.
She's from the Los Angeles baby murder case, that's right. Well, apparently she's been missing since the day after her fiancé died.
It's exactly what Light was counting on.
It appears she came to Japan with Penber. It's possible that she may have found a lead. Did Kira manage to get to her first? He was assigned to 2 police officers and those closest to them, Yagami and their families. I'd like to place wiretaps and surveillance cameras in both households.
Oh.
Just have to hide these clippings from the death note in here.
I bet you're pretty popular with a girl.
It's your looks that count. I'm guessing you're not that popular.
Oh, hey.
Ryuzaki, what are the odds that Kira's in one of those households?
He's in yours, bruh.
No, it's closer to 5%.
Even if there's only a 1% chance, we simply can't afford to ignore it. Just go ahead with it.
Wow.
I don't want any blind spots in the house, and that includes the bathroom.
That was my intention.
Think about your family.
Family.
But there is no point in doing any of this if we can't be thorough. Now I suggest you keep quiet.
Jeez, yeah, easy, Fred. We can call him. Can we call him Kevin Arnold?
Only he and I will conduct surveillance of their home.
I can set them up at any time.
How's Light gonna see the cameras? So if he doesn't, he's totally busted out.
No one's home yet. I'm home.
Doesn't see him yet?
So would Ryuk?
Depends where Ryuk was. Oh,
I don't think anyone else is in the house right now. Do you want to play some video games?
Does that mean they didn't put cameras in his room?
maybe that's what he had the paper there for.
He had the paper to make sure nobody went in his room.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't put cameras in his room.
Hey, Light.
I don't believe it. I never knew he went to such great lengths.
I wouldn't say this kind of behavior is particularly abnormal. When I was his age, I did strange things too.
I bet.
I've never once revealed classified information to my family. I don't get to see them too often these days.
I understand.
Don't ignore me when I'm talking to you or I'll get mad. It doesn't look like these clothes have been bugged. There are wiretaps and maybe surveillance cameras hidden throughout my house. But that piece of paper was still in your door, wasn't it? The real test is the handle. I lower it by about 5 millimeters. I can be fairly certain that someone was in my room. That method alone doesn't tell me if my door was actually opened. I put a mechanical pencil lead in place as well. I take the pencil lead and rest it on the hinge in such a way that it will break if the door happens to be opened by anyone. Pencil lead was broken. What's suspicious is that someone took the time to put it back in the door.
Well, so much for that.
Surveillance so you can figure this mess out.
Or buy it with cash.
What about your apples?
Surveillance cameras.
Stop eating apples for a while.
What cigarettes and alcohol are to humans. I even get withdrawal symptoms.
Well, look at he's already sweating.
Yeah.
My body gets all twisted. I do handstands. It's not pretty.
I already gave Elle the hint that Shinigami love apples, so I just can't afford to take the risk.
Oh, yeah.
Find a blind spot where you can eat them without being seen.
Yeah, a camera search.
Oh, you can,
Not my apples!
you can do it yourself by using the note. So what do we got going on here? Oh,
I have to find the cameras.
Can't believe my son is looking at those magazines.
He's
throw 'em off.
He's throwing him off. Why the room stuff.
Why he's locked.
Are you honestly telling me that you suspect him?
I do suspect him.
I found a camera in the air conditioner.
They must have bugged the place as well. This must be Elle's idea. By now, they must have figured out that it was someone who Ray Pember was investigating, or they wouldn't have gone to all this trouble. These covers mislead you all the time. Luckily, I prepared for this kind of situation.
Oh, Light.
Dinner's ready!
I love you.
Is that Light and Naomi? Looks a lot like those two.
No one in my class is like that.
Saw you after dinner.
Are the Kitamuras watching television now?
Yes, it's Channel 4.
Please contact the broadcasters and tell them to play our message.
see the reaction.
Interpol has decided to dispatch a force of 1,500 investigators to Japan.
Yep, laying the Trizap.
They've got cameras in the living room as well. Obvious they're just trying to evoke reaction from me.
Obviously.
If they're gonna send all these people here to investigate, shouldn't they keep it a secret?
Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kira sees right through this.
You're eating a bag of chips? Your good looks are gonna go down the drain if you keep...
I think that's it, Light. Now let me explain where they all are. There sure are a lot of cameras in this room.
Jeez.
It has to be Elle. It's pretty clear he doesn't know any limits.
He doesn't know limits?
Coming from Light.
Yeah, I guess you can't talk in here, but we'd better discuss this outside.
This is the closest we get.
Whoa. A little aggressive with those chips.
I've set things up so that criminals will continue to die over the next...
A camera in the bag of chips?
Kira can control the times of death of his
I don't know
victims.
what that was.
Therefore,
When he opened it, it looked like a Light camera
Yeah.
inside the bag of chips.
continue to die while I have no access to that information.
The symptoms are starting!
He's doing a handstand.
I can continue to kill criminals whose names are broadcast on the news, studying for his entrance exams.
Oh, he put a TV in there.
Yeah.
Take a potato chip and eat it.
The music.
What is going on?
This fucking kid's getting obsessed.
Yeah. Getting?
After dinner, your son just goes back to studying without turning on the TV or his computer.
Can he not? Oh, I thought maybe you could see the...
Criminal who I should have no knowledge of will die of a heart attack in 40 seconds.
A bank clerk being questioned on suspicion of embezzlement and a purse snatcher being held in a
Purse snatching.
A purse snatcher being held? Embezzlement is worth dying?
So I suppose anyone who didn't watch the news can't be Kira. But the Yagami household seems almost too innocent.
Too innocent.
Today's garbage day, so if you've got any, bring it down with you, okay?
Yeah.
Is she gonna find the camera?
But didn't that mini LCD TV cost you $400?
Good morning.
Well, those mini TVs used to be pricey. Now they're called phones.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I thought it was the bag was going to burst and thought maybe it might come out. Oh, gosh. Every time we think, okay, here's the setup.
Hear me out.
I thought that I was like, how would Light know that they were going to put cameras in the house now? Because it seemed like he was under suspicion of, well, I guess the way he told it, right? He would have saw the door and the paper and everything, and then he went outside and was talking to Ryuk about it. So I guess that makes sense, but it's like, how is he can't keep getting away with this! He can't keep getting away with it! Gosh, that's the best I could come up with.
Oh my God.
Keep getting away with it!
This is great.
Another amazing episode. And look, I think if you're somebody who is not even into this style of media, what, anime, animation, whatever, the story is so damn good that I challenge anybody who doesn't love a good drama or kind of a mystery or cat and mouse to not be completely into this series. I mean, it has been so damn good. We're only on episode 8. I got to imagine that the cat and mouse game between Light and L, I almost think it wraps up sooner than later, because I almost think I would have a hard time seeing them go the full length of the series where it's just them trying to one-up each other and then, Light's finally caught in the end or whatever it might be. So I'm really curious how long this goes on for, but I am loving every second of it. And the fact that the first 2 houses they went to install cameras on was, of course, the chief and then the directors. So that's wild. But the fact they have 64 cameras
Just
there?
in his room is what
so
Ryu counted.
Yeah, so they put some in there for him to find them, obviously. And like Elle was saying, he's innocent, almost too innocent for a teenager. And, he's got his Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue that he's looking at.
The covers are always deceiving.
thinks it's misleading. But look, Light is doing everything right so far here to not get caught, and it's so frustrating for me. I want to see this kid caught. I know we're only in episode 8, but it's just it's not even that he's he is one step ahead because he wrote the names out in the death notes that it would happen while he had no access to anything. But I do like that Elle is still suspicious of him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, almost too squeaky clean. Like, everybody's got something, and this kid apparently seems to have nothing. So I just can't wait to see where this goes. And seeing Ryuk not have his apples was like the comic relief of the episode that we kind of need, where he's literally climbing the walls and just going past the camera like this. Our camera looking for the cameras was a lot of fun. So just an amazing show that I can't get enough of.
Yeah, see, right away when they had the cameras in there, and first of all, it's just Light doing Light things. That's all it is, because it just seems like he's always how many steps ahead. Like, he walked in, it's like he's like immediately like, oh, there must be security cameras in his bug.
Yeah,
it's
right
just
away.
like he just knew, and that was even. It seemed like he knew because Ryuk was even talking to him up the stairs, and he didn't even say anything.
He just ignored him.
And then like he saw the paper fall. And then goes in, and then he explains the door, the hinge with the mechanical, with the lead of the pencil, the paper. Like, he went through this whole everything, and then he shows that it was like to hide, the swimsuit issue. It's like, all right, well, guys, we've had some things. But we haven't gone to that lengths. Like, I never put like a little bell with an infrared laser to stop my mom from finding something of mine from back in the day. It was usually, well, some inside baseball here on the computer. You just have the archive folder that you can't see. Remember, a hidden folder? You had to put it in manually.
That was before my time. I was an analog guy.
So anyway, he was calling up the numbers. But yeah, like, just the way he goes about it, and then it's like Like, okay, so that's why he's locked up in his room, and then he's studying, and then he's willing to throw away a $400 mini TV, but he is because he wants to be God.
Yeah, that whole scene when you talk about the camera, I didn't bring it up before, but when he was eating the chip, and he was like, and then I'll be eating the chips, and like the sound went wild there for a minute, and the animation was kind of crazy. Yeah, it's like, oh.
This is like getting really, really ridiculously awesome with how they are doing this, and this cat and mouse game is going to keep going because no matter what he does too, and he's got to know in the back of his mind, he's like, Elle might buy this a little bit, not fully, but just a little bit. That's why I'll say this little thing out loud, like, boy, that seems stupid to announce it. Like come on, like he knows Elle is probably going to look further into him, and I just can't wait for more.
Having been a teenager
once
at some point in time, I've come up with we're all adults here watching
this.
This.
You had to crank the engine.
We're all adults here watching this. You know how Elle could find out whether Light knows about the cameras or not? Now they put him in there, and Elle kind of thinks that Light knows about the cameras. Kind of. The easy way to know for Elle if Light actually knows that there's cameras there. Follow along. Adult content ahead. Does he use the magazines? If he knew he was being watched, he would look at them to throw them off the case. But also if he knew there were cameras in there, he wouldn't use them because that would just be awkward. And that is how you do good detective work.
Like study them?
He's
come on, man! Don't make me say
he's an excellent student. But he doesn't have time for that.
But if you were
he's too busy murdering a bunch of people for time for that.
And you thought there was cameras in your room,
he is no ordinary teenager.
Right. But if you were a teenager and you had cameras in your room and you were trying to throw your parents off, having the magazines wouldn't be going too far because you figured, your dad would understand, right? Like dad would understand. What you wouldn't do is you wouldn't use them on camera because then it would just be as awkward as this conversation. You see what I'm saying?
I'm also saying that I don't think Light is even thinking about that stuff. He was with a beautiful girl in the second or third episode on the bus.
And
he did nothing with her. He just asked her, and he knows she likes him, and just used her for someone to be on the bus with him.
Yep.
In any regard,
because I just don't think he's an ordinary teen.
Yeah, his God complex is like overriding any.
That's what it is. Maybe he has blue balls.
You know what I'm waiting? Jesus. I go through this whole conversation.
33.
I go through this whole conversation using as delicate a language as I can. And the answer just comes out. I think you can say that on YouTube, though, especially this late in the video. No, I'm waiting for the dun 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 the Law and Order. It feels like it. In Law and Order when they gave us like a 3-part series, when you had to watch next time. I'm waiting for the end to be executive producer Dick Wolf, like dun dun. It's getting really good, and I really like. I'm trying to get aside my personal how just ridiculously detested I am by Light and just enjoy it as a cat and mouse show. And I think it's interesting that, like, I'm wondering what Elle is doing that he thinks will actually work versus what he's doing that he thinks Light or Kira will see as being Bush League, almost like feeding into his ego, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm 10 steps ahead of you, but I let you think like you're smarter than me, that's when you start making mistakes.
Yep.
The criminal whose ego gets so inflated that they think they're so much smarter than the investigators, those are the people that get the mistakes. So what if Elle is doing things like, I'll put the bait out there, something to trick him up or trip him up, but like it's just basic enough to where he might catch it, because there's the whole thing with the 1500 agents. It's like, we're going to put that out there and then maybe Light would sweat it, but Light is smart enough. Like, why would you announce that?
Yeah.
Why would you announce that they're coming unless you were trying to make me sweat? So, Light thinks that, but Elle's thinking, well, this is I did exactly.
That's the reaction I was hoping for.
And we've seen that in other crime stories where they'll they'll put out certain information or withhold certain information.
Well, they do that all the time.
Or they'll put out fake information from a crime scene and wait for somebody to comment on how they don't think that was actually part of it or something.
Didn't they do that in the Batman or something like that, or one of the Batmans? Either way,
I don't know, but I know that they have done that in real life. With a lot of stuff.
Either putting out fake information or not having information. And if somebody knows something about the crime scene, then it's a huge red flag.
Because their big thing is if they have someone say, "Well, this happened," well, how would you know? We didn't put it anywhere.
We never put that out.
Well, I heard it on the news. No, you didn't.
I never said they were shot.
So there's always that one that happens too. So I didn't shoot him
because we put that it was a size 12 Reebok on the news, and you actually said Adidas. How would you know that? But in any regard, I love how they're playing this out and this back and forth. And like I said, it's like, okay, who's one step ahead, and who's like, I look light. Let's give him credit where credit's due. Yes, he's a cocky teenager with a God complex who thinks he can never be caught. But at the same time, he's helped solve other crimes. He's intelligent. He's articulate. One thing that I'm wondering about the death note is once you wrote on a page and that person passed away, couldn't you theoretically tear out that page and burn it? And so that it would always just look like a notebook? If you weren't going to write it in advance?
But as soon as somebody touches it, though, then they can see Ryuk and everything else.
They take it over.
Yeah.
But
they don't take it over. They just know because remember,
they know,
that's what the guy at the bus.
Yeah.
He touched just a page.
Yep,
and he went nuts. Well, nuts because he saw Ryuk. But
a lot of interesting things that can happen in this show, and I'm really, really pumped. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Do you guys think it's going to go the full 2 seasons?
I don't know
until they get caught, because I can't believe it's going to go that long.
Because I'm waiting for the moment where the dad finally goes Hank, like right under my nose, under my roof the whole time.
WW. What do you think that stands for?
Well,
Willy Wonka?
Walter White.
Oh,
that would be a great
coming.
moment. But we cannot wait for more, and we're so glad you're watching this with us. So for Appleton
I'm
Open,
glad I'm watching it.
and that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, the answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals.